Welcome back. Now, there's certainly been a lot in the news about the Fed's intervention in the yen and Japan's intervention in the yen's value versus the US dollar. A lot of that has to do with bonds and with treasury debt. But I thought today, before we get into that in upcoming videos and why the Fed actually intervened, let's just do some bond basics for those who are interested at a beginner level when they listen to the news and are interested in this topic. So, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions around bonds. People think, for instance, if the yield on a bond changes, people are talking about the interest on the bond that you're going to get. But those are two different things, for instance. So you will get things in bonds like coupon rates, interest rates in the market, the effects of inflation, current yields and yields to maturity, and the word maturity itself, and what does all of this means. But I think once you grasp a few of these concepts, it will be much easier to understand, and when you listen to the news, to see this more interesting and to understand how all of these mechanics are working together. So let's look at a bond first. Okay, so you have the issue of a bond, and the issue of the bond issues this bond in the market, and they promise to pay you a certain amount of interest on this bond. And I'm looking here today at sort of fixed interest bond. Okay, there are other types of bonds, but to get the basics right, let's just look at a simple fixed interest bond. So they promise to pay you, let's say, 5% on a bond that you bought for $1,000. The $1,000 that you paid for the bond is the face value of the bond. 5% that they promise to pay you every year, let's say this is a 10-year bond, they're going to pay you 5% per year, that's $50 a year. That is called the coupon rate, not the interest rate, it's called the coupon rate. That is an old word, if you're wondering. So in the past, you actually had like bond certificates, and people would literally tear off a coupon that was attached to this bond and go cash it in for interest at the times that they needed to. So a bond can pay you yearly, twice a year, 4 times a year, depending on the bond. In our example, we're just looking at one payment a year. So you go out, you buy your bond, costs you $1,000, and you're going to get your $50 per year for 10 years. And at the end of the bond, the maturity of the bond, when the bond matures, the word maturity is not complicated, it just means the life of the bond is over. Whoever issued you that bond will now give you the $1,000 back. Okay, very simple. Now, in a case like this, your yield is simply 5%, because you bought for $1,000, get your 5%, and you get your $1,000 back. Okay, everything is aligned. But bonds trade in the open market. There is no reason for you to keep your bond to maturity. You can if you want to, but you can also sell your bond. So for instance, let's say you bought your bond for $1,000, and shortly afterwards, there's changes in the market. I'm not going to go into the changes in the market. I can do that maybe in a future lesson on bonds. But things change in the market. It's normally perception of risk. So, investors want a certain return for the risk that they perceive, and bonds also carry a risk. So suddenly the price of a bond, your $1,000 bond that you bought at that face value, now trades for $1,500, and you decide to sell. So now the new buyer of the bond will pay $1,500 for this bond. But they are still getting the $50 a year for 10 years and the $1,000 back at the end, because this is a fixed bond. Okay, fixed interest, fixed coupon bond. So the coupon rate does not change. If you buy that bond for $1,000, the coupon is 5%, that's $50 a year. The $50 a year stays constant. It does not change until the end of the life of that bond, and also the $1,000 that you get back at maturity. But this person now bought for $1,500, they're still getting $50. So they paid more than you paid, but they're still getting the $50 and the $1,000. So their yield on the bond is going to be lower than yours because they paid more. And obviously, inversely, let's say something happens in the market, your bond is now trading for 900 and not 1,000 anymore, and you decide to sell. Whoever buys that bond at 900 is still getting their 50. Remember, the coupon rate doesn't change, and their 1,000 back at the end. So they are earning a bigger yield than you would have, than your 5%. I think it works out to 5.6%, because the price of the bond has changed. Okay, so by now we can see that coupon rates, they stay exactly the same. It doesn't change. All right, and that's very important. Because I think that's where a lot of confusion actually comes in when people listen to the news and people explain these things. So, as we said, bonds are being traded in the open market, and the value of bonds change. It changes based on perception of risk. It looks at interest rates, it looks at inflation, it looks what investors can get in other investments in the market, and all those things come together, and prices in the bond market fluctuates. Okay. So, when you listen to the financial news, for instance, people will say that bond yields have now changed. I think recently, or I don't think, recently the yields on US Treasuries, for instance, has gone up. And immediately people think that the interest that you're getting on the bond has changed, on the current bonds. Bonds that's currently in the markets have changed. It hasn't. The US government for instance, did not suddenly decide to now pay you $60 per year on the bond. The coupon rate remains exactly the same. It stays 50. What they're referring to is changes in the prices in the market. Remember, if the price goes up and you still receive your 50, paid more, receiving less, your yield is less. If the price dropped from 1,000 to 900 for whatever reason, you bought it cheaper, you're still getting your 50 a year, your coupon rate, and your 1,000 at the end of maturity. So your yield is a touch higher. Okay. So the current yield is simply the $50 a year that you're going to get. Divide that by the current price of the bonds in the market. So that gives you an idea of the current yield of a market. And yes, it is important to look at the yield in the market, but it's not the same as the coupon you are getting. That did not change. The government is not paying you more suddenly. Okay. And that brings us to another concept, of course. So we've looked at the coupon rate, we've looked at the current yield, and then we look at the yield to maturity. Now remember, maturity is just when the bond ends. Your bond will now end in 10 years' time. So how much did you yield? Okay. Now if you buy that bond, if you bought that bond, for instance, you're the new buyer, you bought that bond for 900. So what you're going to get is your 5%. So you're getting your, well, not 5%, sorry, 5.6%, getting your $50 per year until the end. But also at the end of this bond, when it matures, again, meaning the end of the lifetime of a bond, you're going to get your $1,000 back, but you paid 900. So call that, I'll just call it for now, a little bit of a capital gain. So you're not only getting your 50 a year back, $50 a year back per coupon, you're also getting the difference between what you paid and the 1,000, which was the face value of the bond that the issuer is now paying back to you. You're getting that back. So there's an additional 100 that you're getting. And this is what we mean when we calculate, and I'm not calculating it now, but this is what you have to take into account when you talk about the yield to maturity. That is some of the key concepts of the bond. So just as a little bit of a recap again, bond gets issued at a face value. When the issuer of the bond issues that bond, in our case 1,000 at face value, it promises to pay you a coupon rate of 5% a year. That does not change. It stays the same until the end of the life of the bond, which is also called the maturity of the bond. Now you're sitting with your bond and you're saying, my goodness, the yield on my bond is apparently now 5.8%. Am I getting now a little bit more than my 5%? No, you're not. All it means is you're taking your $50 a year that you're still getting on the coupon, dividing it by the current market prices that are now lower. So that seems the yield is a touch higher. That's current yield. And then we covered yield to maturity. That simply takes into account what you're receiving every year per your coupon. But if you maybe paid less or more, of course, It works both ways, but in our case, let's just look at it's easier to understand. You pay the 900, you're getting 1,000 back at the end, plus all your $50 a year payments. So your yield is different. Of course, if you paid more, your yield to maturity is actually lower. And this is things that you can listen to when you now listen to the news. Now, why is it important to look at yields? Because clearly yields and yields to maturity doesn't have anything to do with the actual interest rates that are set on other things, does it? Well, it does and it doesn't. You see, the thing is, a bond, because governments issue bonds, it's supposed to be almost risk-free. So let's say you can yield 5% on a bond. That is sort of used as a reference cost of debt, a reference cost of capital. And so if yields do go up, it does affect what you pay for your car, mortgage, and interest rates in the market. So the two are tied together. And people will look at the yields in the market and how that will affect future interest rates. So if the yields start rising, meaning people are basically selling bonds in the market, bond prices drop, meaning yields are going up. That means investors will want more returns for any other investment that has more risk. And surely a mortgage is a bigger risk taken by a bank than simply taking the money and putting it into a bond. Not using exact examples here, I know. We can go into that maybe in other lessons if you are interested. So the two are tied together. So once you now understand that if a bond price is dropping in the market for whatever reason, the yields will go up. If the yields go up, it does affect other interest rates in the market because this is sort of a reference rate, a risk-free type of reference rate. If a bond price go up, the yields will drop, the current yields in the market. And that will also affect interest rates. Maybe it brings it down. So in other lessons, we can look at the whys of why the prices move and maybe how to calculate it if you're interested. I don't want to go into detailed calculations, but we can. But at least I hope this short little lesson helps you with the next video that I will be talking about why the Fed actually intervened in the yen for the first time in 30 years. And it is because of all these yields and how these yields affects the US market. Because if the yields start rising, as we said, in the United States, well, then mortgage costs, whatever you pay for your car, business loans, and so on, will change and will go up. So we looked at a fixed rate bond today. There are other bonds. Obviously, there's corporate bonds to look at. There's inflation-linked type of bonds. But I just wanted to get the basics in today. I hope this helped, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks.